Respiratory system physiology. Introduction, respiratory tract in brief, and functions. Introduction. Respiration is the process by which oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is given out. First breath takes place only after birth and it is a continuous process throughout the life. The permanent stoppage occurs at the death. During respiration, the atmospheric air delivers the oxygen to the blood and in exchange takes away the carbon dioxide. Normal respiratory rate at different ages. Newborn 30 to 60 per minute, early childhood 20 to 40 per minute, late childhood 15 to 25 per minute, adult 12 to 16 per minute. Types of respiration. External respiration involves exchange of respiratory gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, between lungs and blood. Internal respiration involves the exchange of gases between the blood and tissues. Stages of respiration: inspiration and expiration. Inspiration is the active process where the air enters the lungs from the atmosphere. Expiration is a passive process where the air leaves the lungs. Respiratory tract. Structures through which air moves in and out. Nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and lungs. Division of respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract includes all structures from nose to vocal cords. Lower respiratory tract includes trachea, bronchi, and lungs. Pleura. Each lung is enclosed by a double-layered serous membrane called pleural sac. The two layers of pleura are visceral layer, inner layer, and parietal layer, the outer layer. Visceral layer is attached firmly to the surface of the lung. Parietal layer, which is attached to the wall of the thoracic cavity. The narrow space in between the two layers is called intrapleural cavity. This space contains pleural fluid. Clinical conditions: pneumothorax, hydrothorax, hemothorax. Tracheobronchial tree. Trachea bifurcates into two primary bronchi, left and right bronchi. Each primary bronchi enters lungs and will branch into secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi branches into tertiary bronchi, 10 in right lung, 8 in left lung. This divides several times with reduction in length and diameter called bronchioles. When it becomes 1 mm or less, it is terminal bronchiole. This continues and divides into respiratory bronchiole, which has a diameter of 0.5 mm. Respiratory unit. It is the terminal portion of the respiratory tract. The exchange of gases occurs only in this part. Each respiratory bronchioles divides into alveolar ducts. Each duct enters an enlarged structure called alveolar sac and the space is called antrum. Alveolar sac consists of a cluster of alveoli. Alveolus. Each alveolus is like a pouch with a diameter of 0.2 to 0.5 mm lined by epithelial cells. Alveolar epithelium consists of pneumocytes of two types. Type 1, squamous epithelial cells, 95% of total number of cells. These form the site for gaseous exchange between alveolus and blood. Type 2, cells are cuboidal. They form 5% of total cells. They secrete alveolar fluid and surfactant. Respiratory membrane. It separates air in alveoli from blood in capillary. It is formed by alveolar membrane and capillary membrane. It has surface area of 70 square meter and thickness of 0.5 microns. Layers of respiratory membrane. It has alveolar part and capillary part, and there is a part between alveolar and capillary part which is interstitial space. Functions of respiratory system. Primary function is the gaseous exchange. Other functions include olfaction, vocalization, prevention of dust particles from entering the respiratory system, defense mechanisms by lungs' own defense mechanism, by leukocytes, by macrophages, the mast cells. Anticoagulant action, secretion of angiotensin converting enzyme, synthesis of hormonal substances like prostaglandins, acetylcholine, serotonin, etc. are also functions of respiratory system. This is the summary to Introduction to Respiratory System Physiology.